Imagine if a group of 8-foot-tall super soldiers spent 10,000 years on a religious road trip, killing anything they considered suspicious. That's Warhammer 40k's Black Templars.
Yippee!
Woo! Finally!
I love them, they're the best!
Anything else?
All I'm gonna say is there's a piece of artwork where a guy has sort of a rendition of the monk monastery bowl cut, and it goes so fucking hard.
That one is sick. They chain weapons to their hands, worship the Emperor as a literal god, hate psychers so much they refuse to train their own, and have been crusading continuously since the Horus Heresy, which in 40k is about 10,000 years. But where did these lunatics come from, and how did they become one of 40k's most beloved chapters?
Where did these sickos come from? These real wrong-uns, am I right?
Let's find out as we dive into the origins and lore of one of the most fanatical factions in Warhammer 40k, and one that's near and dear to our hearts, the Black Templars. It could be the case that we're responsible for their current popularity, a little bit.
Do you know what? I think unironically we definitely gave it a massive, signal boost.
Probably a contributing factor.
Our cartoons about that chapter are viewed by millions upon millions upon millions of people. It must have at least nudged the needle.
It's funny to see those memes. It's like Chud's starter kit and our faces are on that picture.
Every time. Every time.
The Black Templars are one of the largest and most famous Space Marine chapters in Warhammer 40k. Once again, thanks to us. They're heavily influenced by medieval crusading orders, drawing their name, iconography, and warrior monk culture from the historical Knights Templar. I've criticized this a lot in the case of other chapters that we've talked about, like Space Wolves just being literal Vikings and using runes and stuff, and that feels really lame. So why do you forgive the Black Templars for literally being called the Black Templars and having the Maltese cross and warrior monk swords and chains and all that shit?
I think because already Space Marines are so heavily based on medieval knights, it just feels like a distillation and stronger version of what they already are. It kind of fits, it makes sense. Space Wolves, you're taking the warrior monk thing and trying to add Vikings to it, you know? And it's not just that, it's like, if these, Nah, actually, that'd be kind of sick. I was gonna say, if these Black Templars were walking around with, a fucking cross with Jesus, stapled to it, then you'd probably feel it's too on the nose, which is what the Space Wolves do all the time. It's not just that they are Space Wolves, they literally ride giant wolves.
Also calling the Emperor the Allfather.
It's nakedly adapting them in a way that seems forced, and therefore it's not cool, whereas Black Templars is just what we already love, but pushed further. Same reason Grey Knights are cool. They're the paladin side of the kind of knight aesthetic. Black Templars are crusader side. It fits because it's the exaggeration as opposed to just a left turn. But I do love Blood Angels, so fuck.
Why is the Ultramarines being Space Romans okay? Because obviously they're not knights, and they're fairly far-ish from knights in their own way, in the same way as Vikings.
Space Marines are not just knights, they're also,
fascists?
Exactly. They're also fascists. So the Ultramarines Roman thing it fits perfectly.
You know, obviously the Nazis also drew heavily on Roman Empire symbolism, and it kind of became associated with fascism. So it just aesthetically it fits, whereas Vikings just feel pretty out of left field for some reason.
Depends how far you turn the dial. Again, if you had a bunch of Ultramarines walking around in togas, you'd probably think it was fucking stupid, right? If they had togas and lurals, together at the same time, you'd be like, this is stupid. I've said it before, but the way Games Workshop or Warhammer has, taken the knight thing and reapplied it 17 different ways, you've got to respect the hustle. You've got Dark Angels, who are Knights of the Round Table with the kind of mystery and shit. You've got Grey Knights, who are Paladin Knights. Black Templars, which are Crusader Knights. You've got the Imperial Knights. How many ways can you skin a cat?
The last time we talked directly about Black Templars, we said they're the most Space Marines, that ultra zealous, most fun, extreme version of a knight, and Space Marines are just meant to be knights in space. They're the most space knights.
In that same piece of artwork where the cool, bowl cut Space Marine is, there's a stupid asshole with, one of those Arthurian headdresses on his power armor, and it looks so fucking stupid. It makes me laugh every time I see it. On real knights, I think it looks sick. On Space Marines, it's really funny.
While most Space Marines are already fanatically loyal to the Imperium, the Black Templars take that devotion to another level. They see themselves as holy warriors on a divine mission, carrying out the will of the Emperor through endless war. I gotta caveat that. This is a case where if you read a Space Marine codex and you read the quote-unquote lore of that codex, almost every time it's the exact same shit. Just said a different way, a slightly different way.
They are the fightiest of fighty Space Marines, who fight harder than any other Space Marines ever fought.
Unlike the other Space Marines.
Who are a bunch of pussies. Yeah. Until their codex comes out and we want you to buy that one instead, in which case they are the most renowned and fighty of all Space Marines.
Unlike most chapters, the Black Templars don't defend a specific sector of space, nor do they have a homeworld to call their own. Instead, they spend their lives aboard vast crusade fleets, traveling from war zone to war zone across the galaxy in search of new enemies to destroy. Their flagship, the Eternal Crusader, is an 18-mile-long Gloriana-class battleship once commanded by their Primarch, Rogel Dorn. Functioning as both fortress monastery and mobile capital, it effectively serves as the chapter's homeworld. For over 10,000 years, they have fought an unbroken crusade with a single goal: to bring the Emperor's wrath to heretics, mutants, and aliens wherever they can be found.
Hell yeah, dude, respect.
That's cool, they got to keep the ship and not the Imperial Fists.
They really made lemons out of lemonade. The Imperial Fists are kind of fucking lame, and out of them you get the Black Templars. Like, what a fucking upgrade, dude.
The Black Templars' origins begin with two men, Rogel Dorn and Sigismund. Rogel Dorn was the Primarch of the Imperial Fists and one of the Emperor's most trusted sons. Unlike some of the other more charismatic Primarchs, Dorn built his reputation on discipline, duty, and stubborn determination. During the Horus Heresy, he was responsible for organizing the defense of Terra and became one of the Imperium's greatest heroes. After the Heresy, during the Second Founding, Rogel Dorn reluctantly divided the Imperial Fists into smaller chapters. One of the successor chapters was the Black Templars and was led by the Emperor's champion and one of the greatest warriors of the galaxy, Sigismund. So the whole thing with the Horus Heresy is there's 18 original Space Marine legions and then 2 lost, so 20 total. And then half of them went evil because of course, and then after the Horus Heresy it was decided that one man shouldn't get to control that many Space Marines, so they take all the Space Marine legions and they broke them up into all these fun chapters we like to nerd out about. So one of the chapters that came from the Imperial Fist, like we were saying, was the Black Templars.
Which is also fun because the chapters are supposed to be limited to 1,000 Space Marines each, but the Black Templars get around this bylaw by always crusading, which is where you're allowed to have more Space Marines. So, checkmate, atheists.
Fun piece of war. So they're basically legion-sized. I think nobody actually knows how many Black Templars there are.
I think there's like fucking 30,000 of them. Fucking sick.
The Black Templars trace their lineage back to Rogel Dorn, but the chapter was truly shaped by Sigismund. Born on Terra during the Great Crusade, Sigismund rose through the ranks of the Imperial Fists to become their first captain and one of the most feared warriors in the Imperium. Whoa. And right hand to Dorn himself. Whoa.
Whoa.
Is that true?
Sigismund's kind of awesome.
His skill in combat was legendary, earning him the title of Emperor's Champion and a reputation as perhaps the greatest Space Marine duelist of his age.
Whoa.
There's something lame about calling a Space Marine a duelist.
Oh, au contraire.
You don't feel that at all? You don't get that?
No, I think it's sick.
During the Horus Heresy, Sigismund was heavily influenced by the teachings of the Saint Euphrates Keeler and became one of the first Space Marines to openly believe that the Emperor was a divine being. This growing faith eventually put him at odds with the Primarch, Rogel Dorn, who viewed such beliefs as superstition.
Rogel Dorn's like, bro, I literally met him. Like, yeah, that's my dad. And the guy's like, nah, he's kind of a god. Well, no, I've met him so many times. Except, ironically, he now kind of is a god, right? So, checkmate, atheists. Watch our video about how Warhammer 40k is bad satire.
There you go. Their relationship deteriorated further when Sigismund chose to follow a prophetic vision rather than carry out one of Dorn's orders, leading Dorn to disown Sigismund. Although they later reconciled, the experience left a lasting mark on Sigismund, who increasingly viewed himself not as a soldier, but as a warrior carrying out a divine mission. Following the end of the Horus Heresy and the division of the Space Marine Legions during the Second Founding, he was chosen to lead the newly created Black Templars. Before departing Terra as an intense act of faith, Sigismund swore a solemn oath that he and his warriors would never rest in the prosecution of the Emperor's enemies. The vow became the foundation of the Eternal Crusade, a campaign that has continued uninterrupted for more than 10,000 years. The chapter takes both its name and black and white color scheme from Sigismund's personal heraldry, reflecting the knightly identity that would come to define the Black Templars.
It is such a fantastic color scheme for them. Not only is it striking, but the best design choices are ones that reinforce the character's character, right? And the Black Templars definitely see things in black and white. So for them to have that color scheme makes sense on a lot of levels. I like it.
Yeah, zealotry.
It's metaphorical.
I like my Black Templars as black and white as possible. I actually thought in the mid-2000s when they started putting more models out and they had they kind of introduced a lot of red, I thought that was kind of lame.
Oh, dude, I totally fucking agree. Yeah. The red never sat well for me.
Putting like a red Maltese cross on there and stuff, it just definitely looked cooler the more black and white you can make them.
The only reds that should be on their armor is blood. Am I right, boys? Fucking A.
A Black Templar's life revolves around prayer, training, warfare, and the constant renewal of vows. Unlike many chapters, they spend almost their entire existence on campaign. The Black Templars fight in the image of their founder, Sigismund, preferring aggressive close-quarters combat over ranged warfare. Beyond simple tradition, melee combat is considered the most effective way to destroy demons and other warp-tainted foes, making it both a practical and spiritual doctrine. Before battle, Templars renew sacred vows before chaining their weapons to their wrists with devotion chains. The practice was adopted by Sigismund after learning it from Karn and the World Eaters in the fighting pits before the Horus Heresy.
Oh boy, for those of you who don't know, Karn is not a good guy. Let's just say that.
He's kind of bad.
Kind of a bad guy, but also a badass, if you know what I'm saying.
To the Black Templars, the chain symbolizes an unbreakable commitment to duty, never laying down their weapons until victory or death. Some take this even further through the chain of zeal by permanently welding the chain to their gauntlet. Because of this devotion, retreat is viewed with extreme suspicion among the Black Templars.
Be kind of more metal if they fucking put the chain through their goddamn wrist. That would have been way more sick.
It's just a little impractical to literally always be carrying your sword.
Yeah, okay. Some of us are more devout than others, I see.
You know what, Tom? That might be a cool idea for a different IP.
If only we had our own.
One of the Black Templars' most famous traditions is the Emperor's Champion, a title originating from the one Dorn gave to Sigismund. Before major battles, a warrior may receive visions that the chapter interprets as a divine calling from the Emperor himself. That Marine is then equipped with the Black Sword, clad in sacred relic armor, and sent directly to the enemy's strongest champion. Their job is simple: find the enemy's strongest champion and kill them in single combat.
He's like, you there, Tau.
I challenge
you to close quarters combat. And if you say no, you're a pussy. Tau guy there with his fucking, rifle. Go on, do it, pussy. You won't.
All Space Marines are renowned for their dedication, but the Black Templars are a step above the rest. The chapter is known for its hatred of the mutant, the heretic, and the witch, anyone who has strayed from the Emperor's vision of humanity. They seek nothing less than to crush every last enemy of mankind.
Whereas the other Space Marines are pretty tolerant, all things considered.
Pretty chill sometimes. The Black Templars see themselves as humanity's greatest defenders, but living under their protection can be a mixed blessing. Their devotion to the Emperor is absolute. And so to a Black Templar, there is very little difference between a dangerous heretic and someone merely suspected of heresy. This can make them extremely difficult allies. The chapter has a long history of clashing with imperial authorities, distrusting psychers, ignoring inconvenient orders, and pursuing its own interpretation of the Emperor's will regardless of the consequences.
Actually, the Emperor wants us to sack Byzantium, I swear. Yeah, no, he came to me in a vision. He said we should definitely do that.
Once a Black Templar decides something is wrong, convincing him otherwise is nearly impossible. That attitude also extends to the worlds they protect. The Black Templars will gladly sacrifice cities, armies, and even entire populations if they believe it is necessary to destroy a greater threat. To them, protecting humanity is more important than protecting individual humans. A Black Templar would rather condemn a billion innocent people than risk letting a single true enemy of the Emperor escape. This is what I mean, the most Space Marines.
Or the least salamander Space Marines. That's really what's important here. The further you get away from salamanders, the better the Space Marine is. You know what I like to read about in my grimdark sci-fi setting? Humanitarian aid. Like being a nice guy. The salamanders, the most lamest of all Space Marines.
Actually, they have charcoal black skin, like they're burned, and they have burning red eyes that glow, and they're basically demons, but also really nice guys.
Well, it's kind of actually a bit of a don't judge a book by its cover situation, because they're pretty nice guys, really. Like, what the fuck are we doing? What are we doing here?
That's what you call a subversion. It makes them interesting.
I always thought it was super funny because in old White Dwarfs and stuff, salamanders were actually just depicted as black people.
Is that true?
Yeah,
really
dude,
true?
I remember looking at them and being like, oh, those are like black Space Marines and it's the salamanders. At some point someone was like, yeah, I don't think so. That's not gonna fly anymore.
That's... I don't believe it. That basically means they're saying all Space Marines are white forever, but we gotta give the not whites at least one, so...
Well, they also
black,
get the white scars, so, you know.
If you're Asian and you want to play Space Marines, you have to play White Scars. And if you're black and you want to have black Space Marines, you have to play Salamanders. Sorry, that's just the lore.
You used to be able to, now you don't get anything. Now salamanders are just white guys who fell in a volcano.
One of the stranger things about the Black Templars is that they don't have librarians. Librarians are psychic Space Marines who also preserve a chapter's history and accumulated wisdom. But the Black Templars don't have a single one. That's because they don't like psychers, they don't like witches, basically Christian fanatic Space Marines.
I mean, what wisdom do they even need? It's basically like kill alien, crusade good, simple. I know they lose the ability for like cool psychic Space Marines to throw rocks at people with their mind, but like, is it worth it? That's honestly not even as good as bullets. Bullets versus lightning, I'm taking bullets every fucking time. Like, what's the radius of lightning from a fingertip? 20 feet? It's not as far as sitting on a rock with a fucking sniper rifle and diving that right in the head because he doesn't wear a helmet.
Whatever the truth, the chapter considers it the Emperor's will and has fought without librarians for thousands of years. I was gonna say, when I was a kid trying to play Black Templars, I didn't appreciate the lore nuance of that, and it was frustrating because my dad was Dark Angels and he would just steamroll me with all his gay psychic shit. I was like, I want a fucking librarian, damn it.
Oh, but the irony is the Emperor himself was a psyker, the psyker perhaps.
Yeah, but only he gets to do it. Uniquely, the Black Templars are roughly 6 times larger than standard chapters, exploiting a Codex Astartes loophole that allows extra Space Marines while on crusade.
Dude, I said 30,000. 6,000 is way less cool.
I like the idea that nobody really knows how many there are.
But you know what would be funny? Like, this chapter specializes in logistical warfare. None of them have close combat weapons because we've discovered that shooting people from miles away is more effective than hitting them in the head with a sword. That would be the true fucking OP chapter. This chapter's the most logical of all chapters, more logical than the others. And they shoot people from very far away. In fact, the enemy barely even sees them, really.
This chapter uses drones.
This chapter uses
the Space Marines sit in the bunker and control the drones. Because they are spread across countless crusades all over the galaxy, only the High Marshal knows how many there are. Despite these inflated numbers, the Inquisition hasn't pressed the issue because they're constantly fighting wars everywhere and nobody wants to argue with 6,000 angry crusaders.
Let me tell you, buddy, you don't want to get on the bad side of 6,000 angry crusaders.
The chapter remains unconcerned with these restrictions. Sigismund viewed the Codex Astartes as an insult to Rogel Dorn anyways, so the Black Templars inherited that attitude.
Yeah, this guy got a real toot on him, huh?
So the Codex Astartes was written by Gilliman,
Rowboat girly man.
Who's the Ultramarines Primarch, the quote-unquote father of the Ultramarines, and he came up with a rule book so that everyone would behave, basically, after the Horus Heresy, and the Black Templars, they don't like it one bit.
Man, what a fucking sick chapter, dude. I've learned so much about them. I love Black Templars. All the other chapters fucking suck, and I hope they die.
When did you first start liking the Black Templars, Tom?
The 2016 election. I honestly, I don't remember.
You don't remember?
No, I don't remember. My pathway to Black Templars, I feel like, threaded through a few chapters first. Like, my first love was the Blood Angels, because, like, you're fucking 12 years old, and you're like, oh, vampires are cool. They're scary and dark and mysterious. And then I graduated to, like, Grey Knights. I'm like, these guys are freaking badasses. They're even cooler than a regular Space Marine. And then once you get past, like, oh, they're the most purest of the pure, you start liking a little fallibility, a little so extreme that they're kind of, it's not so great sometimes, you know what I mean? It's a bit more human than the Grey Knights, who are just like, we are incorruptible and pure. They're like, we're so fucking pure and incorruptible, we're gonna genocide everyone to death. It's got a little bit more nuance to it.
And some spice. It's more fun.
Yeah.
It gets at what's fun and unique about 40k. It's the grimdark stuff. And that's why if you like salamanders, you're a fucking loser. So...
yeah, dude,
anyway.
if you like salamanders, just get out. Just get out of the hobby.
But if you're still curious about the different Space Marines, click here to watch our video where we rank the best and dumbest Space Marines. We obviously have infallible opinions.
You'll never guess who ends up in the worst tier.
Ooh, you'll have to watch the 30-minute video to find out.
Hey, it's fun. Put it on in the background whilst you whip up a little meal, huh?
It is fun. We have very good opinions, so please check it out.
Unironically, dude, our taste is literally, as like creatives and artists, taste is basically our job, so we're right about everything. So I don't know, if you want the correct opinions, go here, watch this. Love you, bye!
See you next week.